2014 Ford Fiesta with a 20% APR rounded up. 20% death. That is end of the world apocalyptic death for a car loan. What are you doing?
Hi, my name is James. I'm 22 years old and I'm from North Carolina.
What do you do for a living?
I am an electrical engineer. I just recently graduated and started my first career job. I work in semiconductor testing for one of the tech companies here in Austin.
So you just graduated?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been in this position so far?
Graduated in May, started in June.
Wow, very cool. Well, congratulations. First adult job, very exciting.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it so far?
Yeah.
How much do you make a year?
I will gross 85, but I make 80,000 salary.
Nice. So there's a bonus.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. And I see a gross pay, and I think this is bi-weekly, correct? That you sent in?
Semi-monthly, yeah.
Yep, semi-monthly. Okay. $3,337.50 after all the lovely federal income tax, Social Security tax, Medicare tax, all the different good insurances that are coming out. And then, of course, contribution to 401k. We were having a net pay on a semi-monthly of $2,491.64.
Yep.
Which will come out to about $64,782 a year.
Yep.
What have you done for work before this? This has to be a pretty big jump.
In college, I worked at a gym. I was just cleaned equipment. And then I worked as a resident advisor in college also. And then that was for free housing, try to lower the cost of college. I worked as an RA. And then I worked at a bookstore. Did fast food once.
Probably
yeah.
but all $8 to $15.
North Carolina $7.25.
Oh, legit minimum wage.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. So this is a big jump.
Yeah.
What happens when people normally make a big jump for the first time in their income?
You spend a bunch of money.
They spend a bunch of money. They inflate that lifestyle. They get a brand new car. In your case, you did get a used car, but you took out debt for that. We'll get to that. They get an expensive mortgage or an expensive apartment, or they start buying brand new TVs, or we're financing an expensive mattress, things like that. Have you felt any urges around this yet?
Yes, with the signing bonus, I did take my family to some pretty expensive places.
Oh, really? So treating the family with the signing bonus. How much was the signing bonus?
$5,000. I think I got to keep $3,500 because of taxes.
And how much of that $3,500 is left?
$700 in a savings account, but I do need to use it for something.
What do you need to use it for?
I have a hospital bill that will eventually come.
Ah, dang. Oh, that sucks because those are unavoidable.
Yeah, I can't really avoid using it. I just don't. I mean, that's kind of what I put the money there for.
And the rest of it went to fun?
No, I bought furniture because I didn't have any. Because I traveled here from North Carolina and I couldn't take anything with me. So
used furniture, new furniture?
Some used, some new.
Okay.
I went to IKEA, which is pretty relatively cheap because you have to build it yourself.
It's pretty okay, but it's easy to walk out of there spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
30-day statement, Bank of America checking account. One thing that made me very happy compared to what a lot of people tend to do who come on the show. Sure, you do eat out, but you're not an everydayer. You're not an every other dayer. You're like a once, maybe twice a week if we're feeling a little wild. At least from the checking account side of things.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But from the checking account, speaking of IKEA, $809 just from the checking account. And fun fact, you did shop at IKEA using another account as well that we'll get to. But just from the checking account, $809. So we're looking at a $3,500 bonus check. It's a good chunk of that.
Yeah, most of it went to furniture, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I needed something to sleep on.
That makes sense. You know, my first, I think, 5 months in Austin, I slept on an air mattress.
I slept for about a month on an air mattress because moved here mid-May, didn't get paid till mid-June. and I was doing Grubhub, and the gas was so expensive that I made nothing.
Oh, that's fair. You did move it hard. Yeah, very expensive gas when you moved. Wow. Okay, so
like $4.50 or something crazy.
Yeah. What I did not like from here, and this is purely situational.
Mm-hmm.
For your exact situation, someone who has student loans, someone who has I think a new car loan.
Used car. I mean, it's a used car, but yeah.
No, but it's a new loan.
Yeah, relatively new.
Yeah. Okay. Someone who has those debts. We're throwing $10 into Schwab. We're throwing $150 into Schwab. We're throwing $295 into Robinhood, $11.86 into Robinhood, $7.97 into Acorns. Starting to add up within 30 days with someone who has debt that is not paid. $30 into Acorns.
Yeah, I can't really explain that. I mean, I guess I was kind of using it in college as a just like on and off sort of investing, but it was never anything super serious because I just didn't have the money to put anything serious in there.
$108 into Robinhood. Also, lots of Zells back and forth between people. Lots of that. So I can't really account for what that's going towards. You get some and you send some.
So I have... Sometimes I help out like family members if they really need help.
That's dangerous.
It is. I should probably stop.
You're doing it as a gift, though, not a loan.
Yeah, it's just a gift.
As long as you know it's not coming back.
Just know they're in a worse situation than I am, so I try to help if I can.
I can respect that. It gets a little... I definitely support helping family. If they start relying on you, or you're enabling bad behavior, or if you're loaning and expecting it to get back, but you're not doing that, that's where things start to get a little questionable.
I don't ever really expect it to come back, but occasionally I just know that if I needed $20, I feel like I could ask.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you think you're enabling bad behavior, though?
No, sometimes it's just something happens. Like something happens with someone's car and they just don't.
They don't have an emergency fund.
Pretty much.
And do they not have an emergency fund because they're spending too much money instead of saving for an emergency fund in those times of non-emergencies?
I think it's more of a low-income household, so it's hard to save money situation.
It is hard to save money, but is literally every single penny from the household going to just survival, or are they eating out at all? Do they have a car that's slightly more expensive than they need?
I don't think the car's a problem because a lot of them live in New York City, so it's like just like public transport.
Fair enough.
But eating out probably could stop. But then again, some places are kind of like food deserts, so it's like kind of hard to get a reliable grocery store that actually has.
That's food. Extremely true, and I very much respect that. And without taking a look into this situation, pretty much my initial thoughts on this is I've interviewed a lot of people who do come from disadvantaged backgrounds, who in themselves don't make much money, yet they still get a car they cannot afford. Probably not the case in New York City. They're still going out to eat. Now, I'm not against going out to eat. I'm not against enjoying life. But when someone doesn't have something as basic as an emergency fund before they're having those extra luxuries, they're doing it wrong. And if you're giving them money for their emergencies because they don't have an emergency fund, and when they're not in emergency times, they are spending their additional money on things that are just for the sake of enjoyment, for splurging, then technically that is enabling a bad behavior, in my opinion. But I don't know the situation. We're not here to talk about them, but that is something very interesting. And then when it comes to food deserts, 100% understand that it's a very real problem, terrible problem. And then, of course, there are lots of systemic issues that people do deal with. But before giving more money, I would try to better understand their financial situation because you deserve to know.
Yeah.
You are giving money.
Yeah.
I just want to, because it's a disservice to people if you're enabling bad behavior. Some people need help. Just straight up help, like, all right, every single penny I am making, it is going to surviving. I've never had a chance to save up an emergency fund. Of course, it makes sense to help.
Yeah.
Just make sure they're not just blowing all their money. instead of taking care of the responsibilities.
And for the Schwab investing, so I do have student loans. So I opened up a 529 for my brother. So I try to put money in there, try to help him out in the future. Since I make significantly more than my parents, I would kind of want to help him out to lower the amount that he would have to take out, if that makes sense.
Okay. And it does. Again, I love the caring attitude. It's good. On this side of the table, like to play devil's advocate, so bear with me there. But I do respect the caring and loving nature, so don't get me wrong on that. $9.60 to Acorns. Robinhood, another $250. Big one there.
Oh, that was also part of that 350. I'm pretty sure 3,500. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. And then we don't go out to eat much, but I think this was some of the treating the family.
It was like one weekend.
Terry Black's is expensive no matter what, and it's barbecue anyway. So I'm sad that you went there. And then Oasis is pretty expensive. Terrible food, beautiful view.
Yeah, I did like the view. I've never been to Austin. It was one of those places that was like...
Oh, you gotta go. I mean, I love going, even though I've been here for many years.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bar on the top?
Yeah.
Much better
I think
food.
we sat outside by the lake. I don't know what that lake is called. I think it's...
Lake Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then some Jenny's. Getting some Jenny's. Classic. Everyone loves Jenny's. So... when it comes to you taking all this money to put into things like Acorns and Schwab, with the student loans, that's going to be situational. So we're going to talk about the student loans, and it's going to either convince me that it's wrong or convince me that it's right that you're doing this.
Right.
Car loan, I don't like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can wait till we get to the car.
We can wait till we get to the car. 686 credit score. Up 23 points, though.
Yeah, so another not having an emergency fund situation. When I was traveling, I pretty much put my travel expenses on a credit card. And so that significantly lowered my credit score because at the time, it was nothing on it. I never used it in college, but I just couldn't save enough money from the job I was working to travel.
Yeah, I
from
see.
here to Texas because it was like $500 for just gas.
Yeah.
So I put that on a credit card, and then I've been paying that off the credit card off recently, trying to put money towards that. So it's been gradually going back up.
Okay. I see you were at about 680, and then that low probably
it was like 620 or something.
620. But climbing back up, 686. That's I mean you're definitely on the path to 700, on the path to 750. So not too much to say there. Discover card. Tell us what you want to tell us in as much detail as you want. I don't want to press too hard, but the first three things on here: medical services, medical services, medical services, a breathing thing, a urology thing, and then a medical South Atlantic. Another,
I guess, consequence of not having an emergency fund. I had some medical issues. Needed to go to the doctor. My copay for insurance is $40. I went to the doctor probably 8 times. So
what's the issue?
It's a throat infection. That's where I got the hospital bill from. So
not contagious, are you?
No.
Okay.
Went to the hospital. I mean, they fixed the problem, gave me the medicine I need, but I still had to pay $40 just to see a doctor to figure out what was wrong. Went to urgent care a couple times, and
those copays can be expensive.
Did not really help, and I should have just went straight to the emergency room. So I wasted probably $80 going to urgent care.
Dang.
So yeah, I pretty much those investments are probably I nuked all of them to pay for, and then still have to use my credit card.
But your throat infection, you're good. You're healthy now.
Yeah, so I can just go back to paying out the card now.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. That sucks because, I mean, that's something that was likely out of your control. And yeah, I'm sorry. Interest charge of $14. That's what I don't like about holding a balance.
So I took out another credit card, American Express, to help with the travel expenses. Technically, that card had 0% interest for the first year. I've been doing the snowball effect thing of like paying out the smallest amount first and then gradually working my way up. So that's kind of why I didn't put the 1,000 towards the Discover card.
Sure.
I mean, mathematically, I probably should have did that, but that's just why I didn't pay off the Discover card. And I don't know.
Why? So actually, on the checking account, one thing we didn't talk about, the beginning balance was $5.79. You deposited in $16,000. You took out $15,690. Service fee of $20.30. Ending balance of $295. Is that why, even though you have a balance on this Discover card that you want to pay off, is that why you are still using this card for Gold's Gym, for Amazon, for internet payments, for one Chick-fil-A purchase, and some H-E-B grocery shopping?
Those H-E-Bs were medicine from their pharmacy.
Okay.
So I just didn't have the money for that, but that's like a part of the medical emergency. But in terms of using the Discover card, I just used it to cover the medical bills and then paid off the American Express card, and then was going to try to pay that card off by October, so, or maybe even next month.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I don't really use credit cards. The reason I got back into using credit cards was because of the travel. And then, I don't know, I kind of get like, I feel like I get more tempted to spend money I don't have when I use credit cards. So
That's not good.
That's why I'm trying to pay it off and then just...
If that's the case, if that's your literal mental mindset around money that you don't have with credit usage, I would cut up your credit cards. Yeah, I love credit cards.
I don't use the American. I threw the American Express card away.
I would throw the Discover card away.
I need to pay it off, though.
Yeah, you need to pay it off. You don't need to have it to pay it off.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be in your wallet for you to pay it off. What?
Yeah, I don't want to throw it. I don't know. I just don't want to.
Well, you're still spending on it within the 30 days. You have.
I try to make sure the balance is still going down from month to month, or at least the total credit amount.
All I'm saying is you've admitted that your mindset is you have trouble.
Yeah, I spending money. Credit cards are just not for me. But...
Credit cards are not for you, and that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you recognize it, get it out of there, because that'll put you in a hole in the long term. I love credit cards. That's because I can use credit cards. You can't, and that is not a bad thing.
No.
You just need to live like you can't use it. So the balance on here, previous balance $1,612, paid $2,000, very nice, but you purchased 1,699 things, ruining all the niceness. Meaning that you have a balance of $1,309. Imagine if that previous balance of $1,613 was all that was there, and you did the $2,000 payment. You wouldn't even need to be that much. It would be paid off.
Yeah, it kind of goes with like the not having an emergency fund, though.
It does, which is what your one of the first goals will be with this new job. It'll be time to have an emergency fund. Stop spending money on this card, dude. Pay this off this next month. We're almost at the end of this month. Paid off by the first half of next month. No more IKEA until this is gone.
I could, but then I need to put that money towards that hospital bill. They haven't sent it to me yet, so I'm waiting to see.
How much is it going to be?
I don't know. It could be anything. I think my deductible is $500, but it can be anywhere from like $1 to $500. I'm assuming $500, but it could be anything.
Yeah.
So I was going to put half next month and then half in October and just be done with it.
Okay, stick to that. Because in a medical bill that could be whatever, that is scary. Okay. But by mid-October, this thing is gone.
Yeah,
You are cutting Discover in half.
Yeah,
that was a horrible rip. Whatever. I'm upset at that rip.
Yeah, but that's my goal, to pay off that credit card mid-October and then just be done with it.
Good. American Express. You threw this one away.
Yeah.
Good.
Pay it off, and I just think $2,600 is too much.
Klarna.
I paid that off.
What is it?
Bought a computer because my computer broke. I work from home.
Financed it?
No. It was 0% APR. I paid half.
Okay, but it was financed.
Yeah, it was half up front, and then I paid the other half before the first payment was due. So I split it from Oaks.
But it's gone. Yeah. It's done.
Yeah, it's
okay.
done.
You'll never have to do that again in the future. because we're going to get your money right.
Yeah.
No more needing to finance things.
Yeah.
Especially with people who have the problem that you already mentioned.
Yeah.
Not many things on here. You got your eyes checked out? That was a big bill. $240?
Yeah. Well,
Round Rock eyes?
Yeah, I had to buy glasses. My glasses broke. That was another medical. Yeah.
And vision insurance sucks?
It was contacts or glasses. Pick one. So they either cover the contacts and I pay for the glasses, or they pay for the glasses I cover the contacts.
Your balance is super small on this. I'd kill it in the same way as the other one. $428.
I actually paid that off.
You really should.
Yeah, if you look at the current balance, it should say 0, right?
Oh, you did pay this off. Okay. Yeah, okay, so,
I paid it off and just threw the card away.
Right, so we got we got updated docs, and yep, this one is paid off. Thank you. Okay, nice. Yeah, you paid $1,000. It's gone. It's done. I don't think you need to be going out to eat to Wendy's and McDonald's because you have the debt and you don't have an emergency fund. You don't get to enjoy life until those
gone
exist. Exactly. So I would love you to have Wendy's and McDonald's. It's not until that is taken care of.
I do have good news about that car, though.
Before you give me the good news, let's get bad news out of the way first. 2014 Ford Fiesta with a 20% APR rounded up. 20% death. That is end of the world apocalyptic death for a car loan. What are you doing? Okay. Penny payment of $500. Is that your minimum monthly payment?
That's just what I paid to pay it off faster.
What's your minimum monthly payment?
$420.
Okay. 36 months. Okay. I'm glad you didn't take out like a 50, 60, 70 month thing like everyone's doing. $11,000. $11,299. Go ahead. What's the good news?
It's actually $9,000 now because I got rid of the warranty.
Oh, very good choices were made.
Yeah. So the reason I agreed to such a high interest rate is because I was like, the money I'm putting at my credit card once I pay it off, I can just put towards the car and pay it off in a year, rather than 3 years.
I don't know if I'd use that to justify this, but you are correct in your solution that yes, pay this off in a year because that is disgusting. I was hoping that your good news is that you refinance this down to a 5% interest rate.
The reason it was so high is because when I got the car, my credit score dropped from like the 680 to like the 610, 620. So
this might be something worth...
So I could refinance it once it crosses 700, but yeah.
It might be something worth doing that, but I think what's more important is what you just said. With how much money you're bringing in of about $5,000 a month.
So I can just pay $1,000 a month once the credit card's gone.
1,000? You should be able to put much more than 1,000, 5,000 hours a month after everything. Put $2,000 a month towards it.
I want a savings account. So when something happens.
No. Well, okay.
I could do that, but then I would have no money saved.
Yes, we'll get to that. But 20% interest on this thing is like, yeah, so bad.
Like, I get that. Like, I agree it's a very high interest rate. I just feel like...
Oh, you agree it's a bad interest rate? Good. I'm glad we can agree that 20% is bad.
If I put $1,000 a month at $9,000, it should go away in a year. And then I can put the extra $1,500 to $1,000 in a savings account.
Student loans.
Those are all federal.
Good. That was going to be my question. $23,361. Do you know the average rate across them? It's either broken down between 7 different ones. So,
like 4.5. But I just graduated, so even when the forgiveness is gone, I still get a year grace period before you have to pay again. So I just plan on throwing everything out the car.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't worry about the student loans for now. So, what's your rent?
It varies because utilities is included, but it's usually between $1,690 and $1,710.
You lifestyle inflation your way right into a very expensive apartment, my dude.
Went a little alone.
I know my friends have apartments here that live alone that spend well less than $1,700 a month.
I also couldn't really tour anywhere.
What you could do is make excuses, clearly.
I mean, I pay my rent on time.
You pay your rent on time, yes, but that's not the issue. The issue is $5,000 a month after everything. $2,000 of it is going to rent and utilities. We want to pay these things off quicker. We want to have an emergency fund quicker. That happens much less quick when you have much less to play with. You signed a contract, you're in it. Next year, let's try to get that a little cheaper.
Yeah, sure.
You should, dude. You should. Okay. Car payment, you're doing $500 a month.
For now.
For now. But that is what you owe minimum. For now. You said like $420.
Yeah.
Let's just put some gas in there. Let's go $500. There's also car insurance, so actually let's boost that up to about $550.
Yeah.
Actually, after gas, we're gonna boost it to $600. I'm sorry. Okay. Grocery shopping. You did a good amount of grocery shopping.
That's kind of hard to tell because I got some medicine from whenever I get.
It is. How much do you think you spend on groceries a month?
Like $300.
Credit cards, we're paying them off now, so we're not including them in the budget because we are paying off Discover now. Credit card, singular, because you did kick butt and you paid off that American Express, so that was great. Okay, so we have about $2,600 going to needing to survive.
Yep.
Leaving about $2,400 left.
Yep.
Explain to me again why you can only do 1,000 towards things.
The plan actually was 1,200. 600 save, 600 no. Forgot what 600 was for. But it was 600 save and then 600 for something else. It was something else.
You ready for your new plan?
Sure.
New plan. Next month. Well, you do have to pay off the credit
yeah,
card.
there's $500 that needs to go to the hospital. So that's...
Okay, so $500
$700
goes...
left. I'm planning for $500 to go to the hospital. I think that's the max I would have to pay.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's okay. I was expecting something actually pretty scary. That's sucks, but that's not terrible. So $1,300 will go to the credit card next month, and it'll be gone. $1,500, and then $1,300, and then about $700 will go to a savings account. Then you'll have no money. That's okay. You made it through the month. You budgeted where your money was going. That's where it was going. $500 to the hospital, $1,700 to rent, $600 to car insurance and gas, $300 to grocery shopping. You're not spending more than that. We're not going out to eat. We're not having fun. We're not doing crap because you're trying to get yourself to a better point where you can then have fun for the rest of your life, which is awesome, instead of having to stress about anything, including emergency medical bills. Okay, so now your credit card is paid off. You have you have $700 savings account. So that's next month. That's what are we in? We're August, so September, October. What does October look like? October, you're making your minimum monthly payment on car. Your rent and food. About $2,400 is going into your savings account. Boom. All of a sudden,
you don't put the money towards the debt, though.
No, 1 second. So the credit card's paid off. You have the car. You're doing this because there are people like Dave Ramsey who's like, no, I can't do a Dave Ramsey accent. I'll just do a general Southern accent. No, that doesn't sound like him either. Oh my goodness. Okay, never mind. He says put $1,000 in a savings account before you do his baby steps and stuff like that. Okay, fine. That may have worked in the 1990s. That may have worked in 2000. Maybe worked in 2010. I'm sorry, but $1,000 that doesn't even pay. That pays about half your rent. $1,000 if something bad happens, that's not going to get you to survive. So why you're doing the $2,400 in October plus the $700 the month before that, all of a sudden you have just over $3,000. Boom, I think that gives you a sense of safety. Now we're looking in November. Every single cent of that $2,400 should go to this car until it's paid off in like 2.5 months. 2.5 months. No more waiting a year for this car to be paid off. 2.5 months, this car could be gone. Your life is awesome when this does not exist, correct?
Yeah.
And you're just driving it around for free besides gas and insurance, but your insurance will be cheaper because insurance costs more when you have a loan against the car. So you do that. That's awesome. Then boom, all of a sudden, an extra $2,000. So we're in January now. So $2,400 for the next 4 or 5 months you put towards your savings account. Then you have a fully fleshed out 6-month emergency fund. And then boom, you can have fun. We can go get crappy Terry Blacks as much as we want. We can go get questionable food with a great view at the Oasis multiple times a week. That is awesome. We're doing that. And we are also putting 20% aside for investing on things that will get you beautiful compound growth throughout the rest of your life because you're incredibly young.
You want me to stop my retirement account now?
Do you get a 401k match?
Yeah.
I'd keep doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, keep doing that. Free money. Makes some sense to stop. Yeah. I know people like the guy we already mentioned would say stop. Whatever. It's not going to make the biggest dent here. That's not the issue. That's not the issue. So the car will be paid off by the beginning of February. If you do this, if you go hard, you have a fully fleshed out emergency fund by mid-summer next year.
So what is in $5,000? Oh,
$5,000 after everything is what you have in your pocket every month.
So you have 17 to the apartment.
600 total for car, gas insurance, minimum payment, food $300. No more than that on grocery shopping. No more. That rent was with utilities on the higher end of your spectrum. The rest, you get $3,000 in your savings account. Then the rest of it goes to your car. The car is paid off by towards the end of winter. Then towards the beginning to midsummer, you have a fully fleshed out emergency fund. And then you are freaking killing it. How old are you right now?
22.
You'll be 23 and you'll be doing better than 99% of the 23-year-olds. Wouldn't that be incredible?
Yeah, it's kind of the goal.
That is the goal. The only way to get to goals is meeting the sacrifices that are needed to get to them, though.
Yeah.
And most people aren't willing to do them. Are you willing to do them?
Yeah. I would like to pay the car off pretty fast.
Yeah, live like crap for 9 months. Who cares?
Yeah, I thought it was a relatively cheap car. I don't know.
No. The car purchase isn't bad. The taking out leverage on a depreciating asset's bad, especially at a 20% APR.
Yeah.
Vomit.
Yeah, the interest rate was pretty extreme, but I needed the car to get around.
Yeah, pretty extreme. Yeah, pretty terrible. But dude, I think you could seriously be in such a killer position if you just do this. If you simply just accept that 9 months of sacrifice equals, let's pretend you're going to live a long time, equals 60, 70 years of awesomeness.
Yeah.
What's 9 months compared to that? It's nothing.
So I did have a question
please.
Why exactly do you not pay off your student loans if it's like a guaranteed return to your net worth?
Well, because a better guarantee to your net worth is investing it in something that has historical returns. So your net worth is going to increase more if you're investing more than your minimum monthly payment on low interest student loans, federal student loans, to something like, I always use the S&P 500 as just a basic example, but that's going to get you 10% a year on average. When looking back on decades and decades, there will be down years, like this year. Though it is coming back at the recording of this video, but we'll see. But historically, 10%. So it makes more sense to put more than your minimum monthly payment in something that'll give you 10% than paying off something that's only taking 4% interest. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I guess the other thing was, I'm so literally confused on the math for September if I owe $500 to the hospital, how I'm able to pay off the credit card. Because I tried to figure out a way to pay it off next month, but it just wasn't working.
Well, because just under half of what you bring, half of what you bring in will go to paying for you to survive. Just around that. Then $500 for the credit card will take you to about $3,000. With the remainder $2,000, you should be able to pay off $1,300 balance on your credit card, and then $700-ish should be able to go to starting your savings. What's in that savings right now?
It's $700, but I'm about to take out $500 for the for the hospital bill.
Okay, well, you won't even need to do that.
Okay.
You won't even need to do that in this context. Your 401k, now, it's pretty minimal.
I just started.
Yeah, $378. Keep going. That's great. Don't touch it, though. That's.
I actually just switched it. I think I only put 1%, but putting 1% in post-tax, so I guess that's a Roth.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I would do up to the match, whatever the match is. Now, the student loans, going back to what I just said.
I kind of want to pay them off. I don't know.
Going back to what I just said, you're not going to be wrong or bad if you pay them off early. You're not going to be.
I just don't like debt.
Exactly. There's the conversation of basic human emotions and math. I choose to create my financial planning around math versus what feels good. But if it is going to add to extra acne on your face, some stress, not being able to sleep, not things like that, then it might be worth it to you personally to pay them off early, and you are not wrong in that. I prefer to go the mathematical route because mathematically I can say to my emotions, hey, this is actually working out. This is correct. But it's not bad if you want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
What are your financial goals 5, 10, 15, 20 years?
5 years, I personally want the student loans and everything gone. I would like to have a positive net worth.
It should be easily gone.
Yeah, I want a positive net worth by 30. I would like to own a home. I think the median home in Austin is like $700,000 or something.
You should have a positive net worth by 25. I see no reason why you wouldn't. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, my goal was like even with like $1,000 towards just putting $1,000 towards the card, that it would still work out in 3 years. I would have no debt if I just did just $1,000 a month towards debt. But I should be no debt by 25, like either way. And then I would like to own a home, even though the homes here are pretty expensive, so I don't really know. I'll have to look into that. Then
you make good money.
I like to obviously find ways to increase my income, and then I don't really know. I other than owning a home and investing, I don't know. I don't really know about my financial goals.
Those are good goals. I mean, at 22, those are good goals. So those are the things we want to get to next. We want to pay off debt. Goal number 1. Goal number 2, we want to invest more. Goal 1.5, fully fleshed out emergency fund. Goal 3, buying a house. I mean, that's awesome.
Well, I do have one, but it's not really a financial goal. I was the first person in my family to go to school, so I want my younger brother to go to school, but I want to be able to pay for him to go to school so he doesn't have to take out loans.
How old is he?
He has to be in 7th grade, so that gives me 6 years.
Yeah.
To come up with the money.
Yeah, you could totally do that. And remember, there's nothing wrong with community college for 2 years and then university for the other 2.
Yeah, when he gets older, I'll try to talk to him.
Yeah, a lot of people, their entire identity, unfortunately, for the rest of their life is where they went for 4 years because that's where they peaked and their life is incredibly sad. But community college is worth it. It is just as good and it saves a lot of money. But I don't think I need to tell you that. I mean, you definitely have good head between your shoulders. You know what you're doing. You've gotten into some messes. But I think if you're willing to sacrifice, you're going to be in a great spot, man. You're going to be buying that house. You're going to be paying for your brother's school, which is awesome. You're going to have an emergency fund where when you have to move cross country, if ever, again, you don't have to open a credit card to do that. You're going to have a fully paid off car. You're going to upgrade that car. You're going to have a fully paid off $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 car. I mean, your life is bright, man.
Yeah. The only thing about the expensive cars, they depreciate too fast.
They do. I'm mostly just saying you can do that.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Here's the other thing. You shouldn't close your credit card account. Okay, sometimes I listen to Dave Ramsey. Sometimes he says stuff that's extreme, like just not having a credit score at all.
Well, he's not very flexible in his beliefs. Yeah.
Like I feel like you shouldn't close your credit card accounts. Like he says to cut them up and then just close your account completely, but I feel like you shouldn't close your account.
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't necessarily advise to close either, but when we are in a mental place of having a hard time spending money that we don't have because it's just there in a credit situation. If we continue to get into a hole because of that, then I would much rather have the negative effects of closing a credit card than the negative effects of that, because the negative effects of continuing to go into like bad debt and not paying off balances is worse. So I do agree with you, but it depends on the mentality of your spending.
Yeah, that's kind of like my debate right now. Should I close that American Express card? Because technically it hurt my credit score by opening it in the first place, because like it lowered the credit age, I think. Because I like opened it in May, so me closing it wouldn't really make a difference. Yeah. So I don't know if I should keep it or close it.
I would just don't use them again, man. Any final thoughts?
No, I just needed someone to look at, like, make sure I was going in the right direction, pretty much. Yeah. I don't know.
Let James know what you think about his financial situation in the comments below. And remember that though these finances were 100% real and so was the conversation, this is not official financial advice, and it was made for entertainment and educational purposes only. If you want to help support this channel, feel free to join my private Discord where you can see financial audits happen live, video chat once a week with me, and also chat with me on a daily basis in the different channels that we have. A special shout out to my 4 Cups of Coffee supporters: Dio Martinez, Mark, Josh Bennett, Clayton006, Tyler Chong, Drew Smith, Timothy Williams, Sam I Am, Jason Spriggs, Nicholas Dowley, Tom L. And my 8 Cups of Coffee supporters, you guys are making the dream come true: Joseph W. Strickland, Anthony, an anonymous supporter, and Sam V03. Thank you all so much. Subscribe and stick around for more. Thanks.